I'm here in Cary, North Carolina, not Durham, but I am here for DjangoCon 2023, and normally we would be in the conference venue, cafeteria, hallway or something, but we're in the nice Panda Studios, and I'm here with the playwright ambassador, the keynote speaker of DjangoCon 2023, and longtime friend, Andrew Knight. Andrew, how's it going?
It's going great, Jay.
I'm going to call you Andy for the rest of this because that's just what I do.
It's all good.
So yeah, so I learned that you were a part of the committee that brought DjangoCon to Durham, and at least said, hey, we should. What about Durham? Like, how does it feel now that we've had a conference here?
It feels awesome. So to qualify, I did a very, very minuscule part of that. Basically, I tweeted about it, I joined a call, and I encouraged, but that was the end of it. I was in no way part of the organizing committee or anything. But nevertheless, I am super thankful that DjangoCon did come to Durham, because the Triangle of North Carolina is where I live. This is my backyard. We have an incredible tech scene here that a lot of people don't really know about.
Yeah.
And so to get that kind of recognition from an event like DjangoCon to say, yes, we will invest our time and our effort to have a major community event in this place, I felt was very special.
Yeah, and I think the thing that really stood out to me, just even as we've been talking, kind of going over the area, like, there is a very thriving tech scene. Like we interviewed Cactus Group. You were telling me like places like Epic Games are headquartered out here. So it's amazing that we do have a lot of folks here that often don't get the hometown treatment. And I'm sure that they're probably excited also to have maybe a few more people to talk tech with. Exactly.
And there were certainly people that I met at the conference who are local to Durham or Raleigh or just general Triangle area.
Yeah. You're the testing panda, right?
I suppose. You could say that.
Yeah. This felt kind of like a test. This felt very much like is Python conferences in the South a doable thing? Obviously, we're not going to shy away from the fact that like North Carolina has like a noted political history with some things that they've since corrected, which that was one of the reasons that DjangoCon felt comfortable being in Durham. But also like the city itself, you talked about the economic like changes that have been happening in the area and just like the revitalization of downtown Durham. I mean, did the test pass?
I think so. I felt like it was an incredible event. DjangoCon to me has always been very special, not just because I love Django and I have that history there, but amongst other smaller community-oriented conferences, I feel like DjangoCon has always executed with excellence.
Yeah.
And I think it's a testament to the community around the framework, a testament to the organizers and themselves and DEFNA, and also as an extension of the Python community. We know the Python community is awesome.
Yeah.
And to have a lot of people really focused on this one tech stack, it's special for everyone who's part of it. And so when they come to a place like this, I mean, I think you were saying this is one of the best conferences you've ever attended as well.
This was the best conference that I've attended. I want to throw that out there. As of October 19th, 2023, this DjangoCon in Durham was the best conference that I've ever gone to.
From my perspective as a speaker and as a community member and a just general attender, like A+ job across the board, I felt like.
Yeah, and I think it definitely showed that there was a lot of a concerted effort. I mean, having was it Peter Grandstaff be like the conference chair, having information in the local area, having the city of Durham themselves be personally invested in the conference and the conference going successfully. Also having sponsors that were local that could provide not just, a booth. Well, you and I are both really comfortable with that, but also spaces and like the lightning talks themselves, which will be at the lightning talks, doing more of these tomorrow. The spaces are provided by these sponsors. So it allows you to get a much more intimate feel for the city than just like I stay at hotel and like the 5 restaurants around it.
Indeed, indeed. This was very much a conference intentionally in a location,
yeah,
which was nice.
So last year we had the wonderfulness of it being in my backyard.
Yes.
It's in your backyard this year. How was the conference process different for you being local?
That's a great question. I guess the the biggest thing for me was just the amount I had to drive, right? Because yeah, I live here in Cary. The downtown Durham is about a half-hour drive without traffic. You know, normally when I go to conferences like DjangoCon or PyCon or anywhere, it's very much a destination for me. Yeah. So it's like I have to get on a plane, I have to pack, I have to go there. And so in most of those occasions, I feel I need to get the most out of the time I'm spending there. So I lean in very hard. Yeah. Which, so it's like, you know, from the time I wake up to the final talk of the day and then the after whatever's happening, if it's an after party or just having dinner and drinks with friends, it's like, I mean, I could be going straight through to, you know, 10, 11, 12 at night. Having it here in my backyard, you know, after the conference, I drive home. And so there's a bit more separation from the event, but also it makes it feel a little bit more sustainable for me. Yeah. Because I don't feel like I have to, you know, go full tilt, you know, all hours of the day. You know, there's a bit of a comfort factor, right? Yeah. I know where the places are. Or like, you know, the other day when during the afternoon of the conference, like, hey, you know, I want some bubble tea. Hey, who wants to go to Milk Lab with me? Because it's right down the road. What's that? Only the best boba place in the Triangle. And yes, we all just kind of go. So I know those kinds of things. There's that added level of comfort for me being local.
Yeah. And I definitely think for me, it was very similar last year of, you know, we do tell everybody to practice, you know, safe drinking if that's your thing. Obviously, no pressure to do so. But you don't necessarily go maybe as aggressive when, like, you have a 30-minute drive home.
Yes. Yes, certainly.
Yeah. But, I mean, also you gave a keynote. Like, I mean, I feel like that's something that I think we've both done now. We've both keynoted at our hometown conferences. What was the feeling of addressing not just people from your local community, but people from the greater Django community that, like you said, you do have such a special bond with?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendous honor just to keynote DjangoCon alone, but to keynote DjangoCon in my hometown was just this extra factor of incredibleness. Yeah. Like my keynote, I feel like I put a lot into that. Like I cared about what I was speaking. I mean, I'm pretty sure I will look back on that occasion, that engagement, as one of the top speaking moments of my career.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that it was at DjangoCon, because of, you know, my love for Django as a framework and a community, but also the fact that it's like this was here. This is where I am, right? The fact that it was very much bookends with my PyTexas keynote, which is my other like adopted Python conference because we don't have a PyCarolinas. Yeah, right.
Let's work to bring back PyCarolinas. If anyone in the Carolina area or nearby is watching.
Yes, yes. So it's like, you know, having those special events at places you feel local or consider local, right? To be able to give talks in those locations just makes it so much better as a speaker, I feel.
Yeah. So let's talk about the future. You know, is it likely we'll see, you know, hopefully more DjangoCon events? I mean, I know that you're not a part of that decision-making process, but do you think, just based on everything that you've seen, that like there's maybe a good chance that it comes back next year?
I think that would be really cool. Yeah. I mean, I know that that's beyond me and beyond us to decide, but I would say like there should be no reason why they feel like they couldn't come back, at least not that I witnessed. Yeah. Right? Everything was executed with excellence. The city really embraced us as an event and as a group of people. And I mean, the Triangle region and specifically Durham, they're kind of like hidden gems in the United States. They're these mid-sized cities that have really great people and really great stuff going on. And I mean, as we were talking earlier, I would like to see tech conference organizers be more intentional about placing events in those kinds of places. Yeah. You know, and it doesn't just have to be Durham, of course, but you know, bringing these events to people where they are and to highlight that there are good things going on everywhere, and to really reveal that, because we can get bogged down in some of the like, well, this is not so good because of XYZ reason. It's like, well, there's people who live there, And there are good things that are happening there. And so to highlight those good things, and to also use that as a force of change, perhaps, in those areas, like you were saying before.
Yeah, definitely those people that are there that are good people trying to do good things in a city that does need help often need some type of, you know, economic, social, lots of like political sometimes reasons to bring influence to say maybe we do provide this change. And what not better than to bring a few hundred people who are mostly software engineers, who are mostly making good money into your town that, you know, might need a little bit of revitalization and has, you know, the people on the ground trying to do the work to make that happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So let's wrap it up by talking a little bit about the process of what it took to bring DjangoCon to Durham, because there will be a call for venue coming up soon. Obviously, you'll be competing with Durham, but you know, maybe you want to bring DjangoCon or some other event to your town. I know PyConUS does their like call for venues like 5 years in advance. So, you know, luckily you have a lot of support in that, but you know, also you have to start thinking about these things early. So, what was that process like?
So, as far as I remember, DjangoCon did put out a call for proposal for location, very much in the same way of a call for speakers for the event. And there were certain things that DjangoCon looked for. Things like venue, first and foremost. Is there a venue available, affordable enough, in a location that is accessible enough? They looked at things like, I don't remember if they looked at like diversity of the area. I can't remember that detail, unfortunately. I do remember they looked at public transit. Like, how would you get from airport to conference location? Are there train lines? Is there busing? Stuff like that. They looked at hotels in the immediate area so you could walk. They looked at things like what other establishments are in the area? Are there places for like dinner and coffee? And ultimately, like to make the proposal for a location, you had to get all those details together and put that in a form and a report and submit that. I remember, if I recall correctly, I believe it was Dawn Wages who was the one who really led the effort for the Durham proposal. I think I joined like one meeting and was just like, yeah, let's do it. And then my life happened. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put in as much volunteer work as I had originally hoped. But yeah, I remember it was like a whole process, and you know, calling different places and then putting docs together and getting people on board. Very much a team effort as well. It wasn't just like it was all on one person's shoulders, which is a lot of work to put that.
Bad, yeah. And we saw that a lot in the conference where like the speaker dinner was managed by this person, and like, you know, this person worked with the Chamber of Commerce, or this one worked with the city directly, and this one worked with the hotel venue. And you know, we always talk about like the hardest part is just negotiating the contracts that have to happen, and they do have to happen well in advance to the event. It's not like sign this form, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. It's like, okay, sign this form, we'll see you in 6-8 months. But yeah, no, and I think, like I said, the organizing team did really well.
Agreed. Agreed. Hats off to everyone involved in organizing and volunteering.
Yeah. Well, also, thank you so much for being a guest on, you know, this little show that we do. And
thank you for inviting me. This is fun. I'm glad you could come to Panda Studios.
Absolutely. Like, I'm loving the design that you got here. It's super awesome. And again, you know, it feels more like, you know, friends just coming over, maybe a cup of tea. But, you know, genuinely, thank you so much for the work that you put in, even just into like convincing people to come.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm a Django stan. I'm a DjangoCon stan. I love this framework and this community around it. So,
and if you're the same way and you love, you know, your city and you also love the community, why not bring DjangoCon to your area? But that is going to wrap it up for this video. So for Andy and myself, we hope to see you at DjangoCon 2024.
Indeed.